young and old, they can meet 4. You can start with 4. They meet. We have books that we study, and they range from Bible books to life situations. For example, we have one, Christ in the Home, which deals with courtship, marriage, and all problems that you can envisage in marriage. In fact, some churches are using it to counsel would-be couples in their churches. So the aim is to study the Bible, know the Bible more. When you have the Bible in your mouth, then you can pray better. And when you pray better, you are warriors and you are victorious. Apart from that, it impacts on the life. And as you have read in your introduction, when women are groomed in the Lord, they are better wives, they are better mothers, they are better sisters, and they are better people who can come together to even build up our nation.
So when and where do you meet? When and where?
It's informal, and it cuts across all denominations. 4 friends can just come together in somebody's home, in offices, even shopping complexes, in schools. They can come together and start this group. One will be a guide. We go through some training and can guide. It's not a pastor, it's not a priest, it's not a reverend. We are all laymen.
Okay, let me ask the coordinator then. When Mrs. Sarami mentioned that one could be a guide and will guide in the arrangement and discussion that you have, how many of such groups do you have that you then have guides all around the place? How many groups do you have?
To start with, when the ministry started, the Bible study started, it started with just few women, about 6 of us really. That was in 1982. But as time went on, we started growing, we started introducing it, to our friends, around Lagos. So all parts of Lagos, now we have all this, your Bible study group, until it extends to the states. All over Nigeria now we have this FBC Bible study, SBS Bible study group, where, we do the Bible study weekly at our convenience. And then, to start with, one of us will just be the guide. You don't have to have any special training. Once you have been attending the classes for some time, you get equipped. And one of you just start, doing the guide. And what do I mean by doing the guide? We have the guide book and we have study books, Each member have the study book. So that, the chapter that we are dealing with that week, you go home, you do your studies. It's very easy, really. It's so repetitive because, by the time you're answering your answers, you find that you have to go into the Bible to, to answer your questions. So as a result, indirectly you are getting, to know the Bible more by answering those questions.
Are you only in Lagos?
No, all over Nigeria now.
Abuja,
Port Harcourt, we have branches all over. And as a matter of fact, when you're about 8, going to 8, you are supposed to break and form another group. We don't want the group to be so large.
About 8 and then
about 8,
break into another almost
group.
Like a cell group then.
This is cell group because even in the offices, in your office during break, you can do it. And your shopping complex, you can do it. So that it's just so informal and it's make easy, it's knowing the Bible make easy really as a matter of fact.
So Mrs. Odobo, as a guide then, what is the structure that you have in place in terms of, because Mrs. Adigoro just mentioned about the fact that you've got a guidebook. What's the structure in this guidebook that makes it such that you are able to lead a group of 8 properly?
Okay. In the guidebook, we have instructions, we have question and answers, we have parts whereby we're asked to read the Bible, so we just share it round, it goes round like that, and then the answering of questions goes around. Usually, if you start the Bible reading from the right, you start a question from the left. So at the end of the day, every member gets to answer a question, every member gets to read the Bible.
Okay, is there a particular age restriction, or is it just women, or does it
No.
come down to teenagers and
Yeah, we do.
young girls?
There's no age restriction. It's for all women and men. We have men group also. It's just that anything women are involved, they get to shine more. It's not age restricted, and we have my chapter is regarded as a junior chapter, but I realize now that we have a younger chapter, and I happen to be like probably the oldest in my group. Okay. Yes, almost the oldest in my group. So we have like 35, 40, But I just learned from her now that we have a younger group, so we can even up to primary school, as long as they can read and write and study the Bible.
Okay,
I mean, it's studying the Word of God. No, we don't have primary school. What I'm saying that it's open to all ages.
As long as they making any efforts to,
Yes, that's what we're trying to do.
If I may come in there, yes, like she said, it cuts across all ages groups. We have our own group that is 80 and above. That is Ms. Agdekore's.
Are you implying that Mama is okay? She looks like she's 60 something.
So we have a group.
That's the Lord's doing.
Yes, it is marvelous.
We have those who are younger, the 70s, the 60s. Now we also have the youths who are in the secondary school. We also go to schools like handicapped school, and they have a group with the teachers there. So it's not restricted to any age. And then we have men's group. As a matter of fact, I have one like in my home. There is one of our books, Christ in the Home. And I've used it to put my children, men and women, boys and girls, together to study in preparation for marriage. So there is a guidebook and there is a study book. The study book members hold. The guide holds the guidebook and she reads out from the guidebook.
So where did this organization start from? Who is the originator of this idea?
It originated from Kansas in America, where a woman had a vision that she should put women together. There were questions people were asking about what happens when you die, where do you go, and she felt that people need to know more about the Bible to be able to answer such questions. So this group started there, and from there, one of us, whose husband was an ambassador in America, got involved in this group and brought it to Nigeria, Mrs. Adeniji. So she brought it to Nigeria, and from there, it started spreading to Lagos, actually. Then from there, it started spreading, and we are all over. And we want to evangelize more, because we believe if this thing goes round and more women are caught in the vision, I believe they will be able to influence their homes better, and Nigeria will be better for it.
All right, let me ask Mrs. Adegore, looking like an 18-year-old. So, Stonecroft Bible Study is celebrating its 30th anniversary. So, what are the programs that you have put in place to mark the celebration?
As a matter of fact, I will put it that, the program we're having really is a bit low-key. Because, we are just having it, the program is only for one day. And of course, this is part of the program anyway. I mean, what we're having here on the channel is part of the program to let people know what we are doing, what is it all about, and the way forward. So the actual event comes on the 19th of April. We are going to have a lecture, a program lecture, which is going to be given by the Dr. Dr. Onuzo. Dr. Onuzo. He's a very, 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 very effective preacher, really. He's going to speak to us. And we are going to use that period, as fundraising too, because we have some projects. One of the projects is the one we are going to have at Lancaster, It's going to be a sort of a retreat center where, we are hoping that, we can have place for, old people and youth center, and where people